Yeah, for us, big day. As we sit here right now, got 24 guys that are in. Again, feel like we've addressed a ton of needs. Excited about us having the ability to hang on to this class that we were able to fight for, and excited about maybe a couple more coming in later on in the day.
Coach, really kind of a two-parter, but first of all, just kind of maybe give us an overview of the class. I mean, how pleased are you with the group, and where do you feel like maybe you improved your team?
Yeah, I think we've made a bunch of improvement from a roster depth standpoint. Again, you look at it today, 24 guys that are in right now with a chance to add a couple of more. You look at from a junior college standpoint, a couple of transfers that are in the boat. Again, having the ability to add to the depth of our roster today was gigantic. Obviously, we get an elite quarterback to be the headliner of the class, a guy that's from right here that stayed with us, Camario and his family. Just incredibly appreciative of their support, their loyalty as we've gone through this, which has been huge for us. So, again, addressed a lot of needs. The depth is what I'm probably most excited about, the depth of the class. I think I talked during the season a ton about our scout teams and having the ability to grow the back half of our roster to help us from a developmental standpoint. I think we addressed a bunch of that today.
And I know as a leader, I mean, you want as much data as you can possibly get. Now you've had a year's worth of coaching and now a year's worth of recruiting. Maybe where are you in the process of maybe evaluating your staff or maybe making any changes or anything like that?
Yeah, since we've gotten back from the Egg Bowl, I guess there's been a bunch of evaluating going on. And for us, it really did. It started with having exit meetings with our players. And I'll kind of go through the process really of what's gone on here the last 4 or 5 days. But we've got back in the building, had a bunch of exit meetings with guys really needing a fresh start, needing to move on and do something a little different, and then retention of the roster while making sure that we got to today and we were ready to sign, the high school and the junior college players that we needed to sign today. And from there, you look at, the totality of it. And I have been in constant evaluation of every piece of the program. And as I've continued to look back and evaluate, I think for me the biggest thing is regardless the deck that we played with, man, at the end of the day, we fell short of our expectation. And it was frustrating in the moment. There was a lot of disappointment. I am incredibly proud of our toughness, our effort, and how we tried to play, especially as we finished the year, even in the situation that we were in. But as we move forward, I'm incredibly excited about where we're going. From a signing class standpoint, having the ability to add some incredible pieces to our staff that I think will be monumental for us, will be big for us as we continue to move forward. And then as we get into the portal season, and we have to go find a way to address the needs that we have. And again, today was a huge part. It was a huge start. But again, now it moves the focus to the portal season and getting these transfers in here that we need.
Just from the strategy and kind of the pitch that you guys are giving recruits, how does that maybe change since the start of the season up until now?
Yeah, I think there's two sides to the coin. The first side is what they're going to get from us when they're inside the building and the expectation and the level of commitment that they're going to get from their staff. That hasn't changed. The energy, the toughness, how we do what we do every single day, that part hasn't changed. I think the understanding that there is incredible opportunity to come in and have an immediate impact is seen, and it's very, very real. And I think guys understand that. So as we're moving through the portal, that'll be a huge piece of it. Again, I think we've been able to hold on to the class that we have right now and continue to build to it with flipping a couple of guys. I think that's happened because, again, of the support that we have inside our building. I think our energy, our connection, and how our guys have worked to hold on to is why it's happened.
Coach, you talked the last couple of games about how important it was to build the depth up on the defensive line, and you signed a couple of JUCO defensive linemen in this class. Obviously, you want more. How big of a need is that now after just signing two when you go into the transfer portal with defensive linemen?
Yeah, it's a huge deal. you look at the three guys today, and again, for us, it's a big part of where we are going. And we have to be able to practice against guys to get us ready for Saturday afternoon. That's huge. And again, today was a big part of that. And these next 3 weeks are going to be huge too.
Coach, you mentioned Camario a bit earlier, but what kind of stood out to you when you watched him on the film?
Yeah, he can do it all. He can do it all. He can do things you can't coach, you know, and to me, that's an elite player playing a position that is just getting started. Man, he's got his best ball ahead of him. This guy's incredibly intelligent. He plays the game the way you want him to play it, and he's just got this bright light inside of him that, man, gets the most out of all the guys that are around him too. So there's so many positives for him, but I love who he is as a young man, which that starts it.
I guess another two-parter, kind of piggybacking off the Camario thing. I had somebody close to him tell me that he wanted to win the locker room during the recruiting process, so he came to like everything you had, came to all the home games, and showed up official visit weekends to kind of get to know the guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you knew about him on film, but what did that say to you about him as your future leader, to have a guy like him do those things?
That, to me, that's what it's all about, and that's a guy that understands how important it is to have great pieces around him. It's not ever going to be a one-man show, and so for him, knowing that he had to do a really good job recruiting these guys nonstop and creating relationships with them was huge for us. And I've always said, when you have a big-time, high-level QB